Carolina, at a combined weight of over 660 pounds, Rowdy Raw, Adam Bomb, Bionic Brian, the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. This is the Wednesday edition, which means we're covering AEW Dynamite. We may at the end of the show mention a little bit about NXT's Great American Bash from last night, but the focus here is primarily on Dynamite. And Brian, that's a normal schedule, so we don't have to worry about discussing Saturday's Dynamite to go along with this Wednesday. That Brian I'm referring to is my co-host. What's up, Bionic?
Hello. Yes, no, I'm thrilled actually that it was back on Wednesdays. Even though I told you off before we recorded, and I'm not going to try to fucking fake it or anything. I saw bits and pieces. I tried catching up, but I had a lovely dinner with family tonight and couldn't watch that much. But I did see some of the big parts I caught up on.
Yes, happy 60th to Mom number one there.
Hey,
you know.
Thank you.
Yes, so
got a few moms apparently.
Yeah, let's unpack it all as we go. There's some topics, Brian, we don't need to discuss it all. We can just fly past. One of them I want to badly is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes starts off here. We got a strap match against QT Marshall. Now, first off, I thought a strap match was just that. They're tied together, otherwise it's a normal match. This was like the four corners one where you got to touch all four corners.
I believe they did that in the old either NWA or WCW. So that was like an old school thing. I know WWF and E didn't really adopt that. But this is, that's more of a traditional kind of...
Well, the reason I say that that's weird is because you don't need to, unless he's outside of the ring, it's very easy to keep the strap on and touch all four corners.
Yeah.
What's more overkill here, Brian, is we got to have 3 crossroads in a row before QT Marshall lays there so Cody can touch all 4. I want to know how you see this, Brian. Okay. Do you see this as the 3 crossroads protect QT Marshall because that's what it took to beat him? Do you see it as overkill? I want to know what your take is before I tell you mine.
Right. To be honest, I could see it both. I could see it both ways, just because of how Cody's character is. He's like that over-the-top America guy, and so, if you really want to go like big picture, I could see him doing that and like him being the bully, even though, like Homelander. Haven't we made that comparison before, like with the boys? Like he's just you watched the boys, haven't you?
Yeah, but Homelander's not ending racism like Cody is.
That's true.
My thing is an option 3 I didn't propose to you, Brian. I think it kind of weakens the crossroads. That you have to put 3 to put down a sorry jobber.
That's rough, man.
Call it what you want. A spade is a shovel. Why mix things?
I thought a spade is a spade.
Yeah, spade's a shovel. As in QT's buried. This feud and any feud with Cody, Brian, is supposed to elevate somebody else, right? Does Cody, in the position here of this featured match, of this first match outside of dailies, don't think that ego isn't lost on me, Brian, that Cody had to be in the first match. But do you really think that this did anything for Cody? Beating QT Marshall?
To beat QT Marshall in a strap match? No. Especially since, in this feud, it feels like Cody's gone over seemingly in every big match, right?
Yeah. He beat QT. He beat him again. He beat him in a tag match. He beat a Go-Go. Now he beat him here again. This does nothing for me. Yeah. I'm not
bulldozing through a stable.
If you won't even call that, it's his own guys that went to an offshoot.
That's true. Yeah.
Now I'm going to jump around here because I think AEW makes a huge mistake. Why the fuck would we want to not, after this bullshit match, not really end the first segment with a bang here? And why we waited till later is beyond me. But Tony has Arn in the ring to interview him. The lights go out, which I don't know if you caught this, Brian, but JR says, well, there's storms in the area, so bear with us as we figure out this power issue.
They actually did something earlier on, too, and teased it during the match.
Right. So, here comes Tommy End. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's Malachi Black. Fucking hate that name. But
actually, whoa. Before we move on, do you know why that name is special, especially in AEW?
I remember Malachi being the horrible, like, white-robed disciple of Undertaker or something. No, that was Mordecai. Malachi? That was Mordecai, sorry.
No, that was Mordecai. Yeah, that's close. No, Malachi is... he's the Lost Buck. That's the name of the other Buck brother. Malachi Jackson.
Great.
There's Nick, Matt, and Malachi.
Malachi Blackson now.
Oh, wow. Oh, there you go, yeah.
So they keep the Black. They refer to him as Tommy End and then refer to him as Malachi Black. The announcers need to figure out what the fuck they're supposed to say here, because I think, you know, you have iconic moments that are made more iconic by the announcers. You know, the Hell in a Cell. Oh my God, that must be Kane. You know, when he's ripping the doors off and stuff. Certain things are iconic and certain things can be botched. I don't think they knew what they were supposed to do or say here. I know it's supposed to be organic, but if it's somebody's debut, you should have, hey, here, dude, this is what you're supposed to say when he comes out. However, the kicks to both Arn and Cody are bittersweet, Brian, because I don't for 1 second believe that Cody's going to put him over.
I mean, at this point, I mean, this is just speculation, right? We have no idea.
Put your money where your mouth is.
But you have no idea. You have no idea that Cody isn't going to put him over.
I have no idea. You're absolutely right. Except for 2 years, Cody does not put anybody over. He's lost to MJF.
Did he put MJF over?
He
put Brody over.
Did he? Because MJF had to cheat, and he put Brody over. Wait, he put Brody over, and then he buried him after he was done shooting his TV show and took his title back. So
I can't tell if you're using that as a pun.
No, you're using it as a point. Like, Brody, there was no rubber. Cody took his title back after he came back.
Yeah, there was no rubber because the guy fucking passed away, ding dong.
No shit, but he came back and they could have done a rubber right then and there. They didn't, because guess what happened? He squashed him in his return and took the title. There was no like setup like, oh, he stole the victory. Brody needs his third. There was nothing. And yes, right. I know he passed, but they moved on very quickly from it because there was nothing left. Cody destroyed him, undoing the destruction that Brody did to him. So nobody has benefited from fighting Cody. Nobody.
Kobe.
Sorry, the TV I'm looking at says Kobe. So,
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited for the match, though. At least this is.
Are you though? But if they're not gonna, no, if Cody's not gonna finally get off his high horse and put somebody over, I don't care. I don't care.
But that's something that you can't even control. You have no idea. Why don't you just enjoy the match, bro?
I can't because I know Cody's not going to lose. Him and Roman just don't lose. Kenny Omega's been pinned, I think, who's the champ of 4 companies. He has been pinned more recently than Cody. As the champ of 4 companies, he has been pinned more recently. I don't know what other arguments I need to make, Brian.
I want to do a little wager. I don't know what we can put on the line. but we're gonna have to figure something out because I am, man, you just got a horse noise out of it. Actually, I am so confident that Mr. Tommy End, Malachi Black, whatever his name is gonna go over on Cody Rhodes.
Clean. Has to be clean. Has to be clean.
You know, we'll have to figure something out.
Because I believe Arn, I'll tell you right now, Arn is going to get the DQ so that Alistair wins by DQ.
Ooh. Hey, we can't call him Alistair.
Well, I'm not calling him Malachi. I'll call him Tommy.
So call him Tommy.
Okay,
call him
fine.
Tommy. Call him Mr. End.
Tommy Boy is going to get the win by DQ. He won't.
That's not good enough for you?
No. He will not win clean. No, because here's the thing, Brian. He is debuting. This is why it's not good enough for me. He is debuting. His first feud, I don't know, Dustin, Matt, fucking, I don't know who.
Yeah, Dustin
not Cody Rhodes. Not Cody Rhodes. You have to debut. It's like Rhea. She debuts. She's fighting Charlotte on the main roster after beating Asuka. Like, no. You gotta earn some interest here. You can't go against him. What's the wager before I move on, Brian?
I don't know.
Cody,
what do you want to wager, man? What are we doing?
How
about this? No, I was gonna say I'll buy you a free month of the network, but I don't really want to.
No.
I don't really want to support them.
No, nothing like that. We'll think about the wager and we'll get there because this match will be dragged out. Won't be at Fyter Fest. Yeah. It probably won't be till All Out. So after this, we got Spears attacked backstage by Sammy. This feud's not over. Yeah, we knew that. Then we have your boy Kenny Levesque and Don Callis coming out. I want to say right here because this is when I first, Kenny Levesque. This is the first time I really noticed it of the night, Brian. But we get the "You Got Fired" chants from the crowd to Don Callis. God, I miss the crowd chants, no matter what they're saying.
Right.
But everything has a little bit of pettiness to it tonight, Brian, and this is the petty part here. Kenny Levesque delivered the exact same promo last week. This week, it's Don Callis repeating him. And worse, the petty part I had last week was Dark Order answering the call, not Hangman Page. Guess who answers the call again? It's Evil Uno. Fans are chanting cowboy shit. We have to end in a brawl where Hangman finally comes out, gets face to face with Kenny, but everybody else misses their cue. So it's an awkward no contact period for a while. I will say this, Brian.
Like a stare down or whatever?
Yeah, I will say this. This was a hell of a lot better than last week. Because Hangman actually did come out as part of the segment to at least get the stare down.
That's why you want everything just right now.
No, I don't want the same shit 2 weeks in a row, Brian. This was the same shit.
This wasn't. He came out. It's different.
Up until him coming out, it was the same shit with Don talking instead of Kenny. Kenny needed.
You're right. That is pretty petty.
Kenny should have led, or it's not Kenny. Fuck. Hangman should have led the Dark Order out of the tunnel with them behind him, being comical, agreeing with whatever he said. They shouldn't have been the first ones out of the tunnel to confront Don and Kenny. That's all I'm saying. It's a petty point because I like the rest of it. I love Hangman and Kenny. You know I do.
Yeah, think of it almost as like a false finish, though, right? Dark Order starts coming out, and instead the crowd doesn't really pop. They pop a little bit because there's someone coming out that's kind of sticking up against Kenny. And then when Hangman ultimately does come out, I didn't see this part, but how was the pop? I'm sure it was fucking massive.
Yes, but I would have rather him. The fans are chanting his name, Ryan. Then they're chanting cowboy shit. He's the number one ranked.
Awesome.
You had Evil Uno say all this last week. You set it up. You didn't need Evil Uno and Dark Order to come out there. You didn't need them to come out a second week. I'm sorry. And
so wait. So what's your hang-up? Your hang-up is that they cut a promo that was similar?
My hang-up is that everything was the
So-
same as the first part, except for Don said it instead of Kenny. And my other hang-up is that Dark Order answered the quote-unquote challenge and not Hangman.
Oh, man, I don't know.
It's a petty point. It's a petty point, but I really think that Hangman should be talking for himself. I see what you're saying about they need somewhere to build to, but whatever.
Yeah.
I like what Don said about when everyone was yelling at him, you got fired. He said, real men don't quit, they get fired.
So on the board as I'm looking up, that's what I'm looking up at, is Anaconda Vice says fire show. It was. Take away the Cody, and I thought it was an amazing show. And Stike says, I'd rather see Black debut against Moxley than Cody. That's my point, Brian. If he was coming in and fighting Mox, I would believe that Mox would put Tommy End over. I 100% believe that John Moxley would put him over.
Cody's going to do what's best for AEW, and I believe that he will put Tommy End over. There.
Yeah, and Stike's worried that, Fyter Fest is next week, night one, Brian. I hope they're not throwing Hangman in for night 2 already.
I think they are. You talking about Hangman and Kenny?
Yeah. That has to be a DQ then. That has to be just round 1 and Hangman stays relevant by winning.
Or is it Fight for the Fallen that I'm thinking of?
Either way, Fight for the Fallen's coming up after that. That's what Stike says. It's going to be a throwaway because I think they're going to wait for All Out for Hangman and Kenny to get real. But we'll find out. Darby and Karate Man. Dude.
What'd you think of that? I didn't see any of this, so you're on your own.
Yeah. You know what, Brian?
What?
I started the show a little late. This is what I chose to skip.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm so over it.
Ringo.
FTR and Wardlow versus Proud and Powerful versus Hager. First off, dude. Oh, God. I hope I'm not getting it wrong. Santana's the taller one, right?
Yeah.
Santana looks jacked. Coming back, not wearing a shirt tonight. He looks like he's been working on his physique, and unfortunately Hager gets pinned, costing them the match. Off the Tully distraction, Conan was there. This match was what it was. It was a 6-man trio match, Brian. I mean, nothing to write home about here. Pinnacle gets the win.
Okay.
That's all I got for you.
All right.
We get a vignette next. Carl Anderson is challenging Mox next week on Fyter Fest Night 1. We haven't seen Mox in a bit because of the baby, but he's going to come back and defend his IWGP title. This is another time it's on AEW.
Wait, what'd you think? What do you think of his shaved head, though?
Yeah, he's losing his hair. He's got to go bald.
No, but it's like shaved. You didn't even say anything about that. You don't think that's like a good look for him?
I believe it was shaved when he was wearing the Bane mask at the end of his run in WWE.
No. It wasn't shaved. He had it like.
But he had that big beard to go with it, so he still got. He looks like Triple H. Now
he kind of
modern day,
like
today's
Nick
Triple
Cage
H.
and kind of
today's Triple
like
H.
Today's Triple H, CEO Triple H.
Right. So we'll see that. MJF and Jericho standoff. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the weakest chapter in their press conference, dancing, whatever the hell they do. There was a fan run-in that both of them tried to play up in their promos, and that was fine.
Did they beat the stun out of him?
But this what is it? Hercules and the 5 trials of Jericho. Oh, Brian.
5 labors of love.
5 labors of love. Great. MJF is labor 5. He's got to go through 4 hoops. This is too many hoops. And
too many hoops, bro. There's never too many hoops.
And this feels like I like the aspect of MJF saying, I'm going to do what you did, but better.
Yeah.
I like that. Don't get me wrong, Brian. But when you put out this many stipulations,
yeah,
you know Jericho's going to get to number 5 to face MJF, or what's the point of all this?
Of course he is.
So then,
it's wrestling.
My big gripe as a whole in AEW has been very entertaining, Brian.
Okay.
Storylines have been much better. I don't know if it's just because Rob's not here to shit on them, but the storylines have been much, much better in the last 3 months. Okay? The wrestling has still been what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So it hasn't fallen off. Yeah, there's some botches, but it hasn't fallen off.
Okay.
And the brawls haven't gone down. That's something that still that still bugs me. But the one thing that has not changed, Brian, is the predictability of every match. You can't tell me tonight that you didn't call Cody over QT, that you didn't call Pinnacle over whatever the hell.
Circle.
Yeah, because Hager beat Wardlow in the last one, so they got to even out.
Right.
Andrade was going to win. You knew that.
Yeah.
What else did I miss? You knew Orange Cassidy and the Alien were going to win. And you knew the Bucks would defend. So, and the way I just said that makes it all sound shitty. All of this was good. I hope Vice is listening still on the board as I look up. But all of that was good. The one bad thing is everybody who knows anything about wrestling knew the ending of all of this. You might not have known the details, but you knew the result, right?
Sure.
You knew the result. Did I know the way that mixed tag match would end between Bunny and Blade, OC, and Alien? No. But I knew they were going to win. And it was kind of... I thought it was a very good ending. I think the ending, as good as... I would use this example, Brian, because as good as this ending was, this ending sequence, if there was the thought that Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander were going to lose and that Bunny and Blade had any chance to win, I would have loved it even more. Because this was a good example of a great ending. Choreographed, every bit of it.
Right, everyone hit their spots. What about Frankie Kazarian getting into the mix? With
No. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're not at that yet. I jumped ahead because I wanted to mention right here the predictability. You knew the ending. It was a great finish. You knew the ending.
Could you predict that Frankie Kazarian was going to come in during the main?
No, we'll get there. Yes, I could.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, they got to go off air. Somebody's got to show up out of the back.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's not full-on brawl. Britt and Tony are up next after MJF and Jericho. Britt and Tony, the Saudi mentioned by Britt. I know Sklenar was blowing us up about the text saying he dropped the bomb. I thought the bigger bomb Britt said was she talked about Nyla Rose and facing her in Big D. And when she said Big D, she looked down at her crotch.
No way.
What? Check the motherfucking tape.
I like that you corrected yourself. All right, hang on.
Britt Baker goes, yeah, and so I'm going to get Nyla in the big, and we're going to square off in Big D.
No.
She looks down and then looks back up. And she goes, and then she said her line that Tony and Rebel joined in on. And then I'm going to make Big D stand for, or change their name to Big D M, or whatever the hell she is, S.
Oh, okay. DDM?
Is it DDM or DDS?
DMD.
DMD, whatever the hell it is.
Not DMT.
Whatever the DMD, whatever the hell the letters are, she turned it into. But when she first said Big D, in regards to Nyla, she looked down at her own crotch. I'm telling you. Whether it was intentional or not, check the motherfucking tape. Now,
I'm trying to find stuff on it on Twitter right now,
and you should watch. Rebel was fucking killing me, man. I don't know if you saw this segment, Brian, if this was part of the ones you missed while you were driving back. But
no, I didn't see it.
Everything Britt is saying, Rebel's in the back going, no shit. You know, she's saying, I don't really need my makeup girl because I look like this 24/7. You know, Rebel's in the back going, no. And every time Britt would turn to try and catch her, I don't know. I don't have all the specifics here, but Rebel was killing me. I was laughing so much at what Rebel was saying. And I felt Britt was just trying to take shots. And promote,
at WWE or just
and promote the
anyone?
match. The one shot she said at WWE was about Saudi.
What was it? It was about their relationship or something?
No, it was like, I'll beat you anywhere, even Saudi. That's all. That's what led her to the Big D comment.
Huh.
It was what it was. Andrade versus Seidel.
Yeah, what's your issue with this one?
I want to talk to you about this one, Brian.
Well, yeah, what's your problem?
I want you to hear me, okay? I want everybody in the audience to hear me about this. Because this is important.
Okay.
I'm listening.
I thought this match was extremely sloppy. And here's why you might not agree with me, but why I say that. Even at his lowest in WWE, Andrade was a very good match guy.
Totally.
He didn't telegraph his spots. He was very, what's the word we like to use, Brian? Crisp?
Snug.
Yeah, he was very snug. I like to use crisp in all his actions. His exchanges were just boom, boom, boom. There was no, I'm going to stand and telegraph the move waiting moments.
Right.
Same with what I know from the past of Matt Seidel. Very similar worker. You know, the guy's not standing there waiting for a head scissor takedown because Seidel's already got his, ankles around his head to get it done. You know, that's how clean and quick Matt Seidel is.
Sure.
So you take two guys who, to me, Brian, have a bar for that style that they're both great at. Or is it maybe catch a can? I don't know if it falls into any pigeonhole of a style. But you got a match between two guys who can do quick exchanges. And this looks very slow. And at times I felt like part of the slowness was them talking to each other. Like, you hit me. No, wait, I'm supposed to hit you. Like, I guess they don't have a history of working together, but it showed. And for a guy,
that's what I was going to suggest.
And for a guy's debut, Brian, they should have done better. They should have made sure that these guys got some ring time off camera, got to work out their spots. You hyped this for a week. Andrade's never been on AEW Dynamite before. Seidel's been off for a little bit. I'm sure he's working Dark or Rampage or Elevation or whatever the hell the other internet shows are. A debut like this should have looked better. Because if I am a guy who hates WWE, fucking hates him, I don't know anything about Andrade. This is my first exposure to him. You want it to be a home run, don't you?
Yeah, you would think. And Seidel is usually a guy that can have a good match with anyone. So that's why I'm surprised that you said that they had some miscues during it.
It wasn't like miscues. It was just, it wasn't. If this was Brandon Cutler and Griff Garrison, I would have been like, wow, they have gotten a lot better.
Gotcha.
Being too, I don't know if they're worthy of being called veterans. At least Seidel is. Andrade's still pretty young, is why I say that. I'm not.
He's got experience, though.
Experience makes them veterans, sure. So why is this exchange not as clean? I had the same very petty moment from last week, Brian, in two guys that have worked together for 23 years, and Matt Hardy and Christian, why their exchange wasn't as good. Again, though, you put Griff Garrison and I don't fucking know, QT Marshall, Doesn't matter who. Sorry to pick you twice, Griff. But you pick somebody
What
who's...
about Dr. Luther? Pick Dr. Luther.
Dr. Luther has a ton of experience, so that wouldn't factor in. I think Luther can sell...
I'm just saying use him in your example.
Okay, but Luther doesn't work, because Luther can sell a beat-down squash. These guys...
Oh, you have faith in Luther. I didn't know that you were a Luther fan.
Oh, yeah, he's been getting his ass beat for like 30 years, so, I mean, he doesn't know how to win. It's like Al Snow. Who's going to put somebody over? I have faith in Al Snow putting somebody over.
All right, oh, interesting.
You learn something
new every day.
Why do you think I hate the whole Cody and Malachi Black? Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of 23 years in the making, I'm torn on this one, Brian. I'm really torn. I don't know here. Fyter Fest Night 1 is going to be Christian Cage and Matt Hardy.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Tale as old as time.
Oh, yeah. Fight forever, right?
So, does it need more build than just a quick promo vignette?
No, everyone knows. I mean, if you've been a wrestling fan for the past, 20 years or whatever, you know who Matt Hardy and Christian, you know their history.
And Christian had a line here. He said, in the 23 years we've battled, I was always on the winning side, Matt.
Yeah, that's true. Edge and Christian, they won a lot of those.
Oh, they always won. They won the two TLCs, 1 and 2, and they won the Triangle Ladder match. The other thing...
It's just a regular match?
Yeah, just a regular match. He said something. He goes, I'm used. He goes, I've never liked guys in suits with bad haircuts. Was that a shot at Vince?
Or shot at Matt. Wasn't shot at Matt wearing
It was
a
a shot at Matt, but I'm saying, was it a double entendre shot at Vince?
Could have been. I wouldn't put it by him.
A guy in a suit that doesn't fit right with a bad haircut or whatever.
Oh, shit.
Oh, here's Stike says, this is a great one.
What'd he say?
Andrade versus Brian Pillman. So Andrade fights Seidel. Now he could fight Brian Pillman. This is what Malachi Black should be doing. He should be fighting not the job squads, but the undercard. One of the best debuts they ever had, not to bring up WWE, was Brock Lesnar. Why? He didn't come in and kill everyone. He came in and he fought the Hardys one-on-one and then as a tag team and beat them up. And they were tag team wrestlers there.
Yeah, but he killed them.
It doesn't matter. They got exposed on TV. They got to be part of his legacy. Who cares that they killed him? It's better than fighting Cody right after you fucking debut and losing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not down with that.
You're very bright now.
Yeah, that's thanks to our technician, Rody Rob. Team Taz, the implosion recap we see here, and we find out that the FTW belt is on the line next week. Very weird.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I don't think he can decide what he wants. Yeah. He wants to be on my shoulder. He wants me to eat some crow. FTW, so another fake belt will be on the line next week.
Why is they're all fake belts, bro?
Yeah, but this one's even more fake.
This one's extra fake.
So we have FTW and IWGP, 2 belts not recognized by AEW, being fought on Dynamite next week, Fyter Fest Night 1. How about that, Brian? They're 2 belts that are not recognized by AEW.
So, what's the problem with that? I have zero problem with that.
All right, fine. I don't have the energy.
New Japan has a lineage, so the AEW should be fucking
Ryan
ecstatic that they get to have that on their show.
And guess what?
What?
I'm gonna give you the point. All right.
This is the Butcher, and I'm a little blown up, but
Butcher for that?
You did okay.
I feel like
I don't want you to get swelled ahead. You got the Butcher for that because I don't have the willpower to argue this segment when the only one we have next to discuss is the fucking Bucks. So I'm gonna save all
your animosity,
my energy to battle with you for that one.
Oh my God. Battle me what? There's no battle, bro. This isn't a battle.
So also, did you see that Rob showed up on Dynamite? I didn't know he was in Miami tonight.
Was he the guy that ran into the ring?
Yeah, no, not that guy. The guy who was talking, the UFC guy, who just basically grabbed the mic and said AEW sucks.
Oh, Dan Lambert?
Yeah, and stood in the ring and just said why they suck for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You don't like Dan Lambert?
I don't even know who the fuck Dan Lambert is.
No.
You know, like we were talking about long ago, me and Rob with you. Somebody like Andrade or Tommy N shows up. We recognize them because of WWE. Somebody like Moose shows up. I don't know who the fuck Moose is. I don't watch Impact. He's never been on any show that I've watched. No fucking clue. When Griff Garrison, I've been dropping his name a lot tonight. When he showed up, I thought it was Jungle Boy that got jacked a little bit. I had no idea.
Hello, Moose is going to be at GSW August 21st.
Yeah. GSW is a big deal. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I have not heard of most of these people that are not WWE talents. So I don't mark out. What was that Cobb guy? That
Jeff
was
Cobb.
for
Yeah,
one.
He's more of a New Japan.
And one night only Inner Circle guy. You were
really
fucking weird. Coming yourself.
I
had no idea who the fuck that was. Me and Rob were like, yeah.
He's a former Olympian, bro.
Yeah, corn on the cob.
Oh my god.
So
he was also in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
What's Rob doing back
Anaconda Vice says, BT, how dope was Road Rager?
Well, the results look cool, but yeah, you weren't here in the beginning, Vice, but I wasn't able to watch the show
in its
entirety. Yeah. Oh, look at
it. Skip the Cody shit at the beginning. Start when Kenny Levesque comes out.
Kenny Levesque. Seriously, he should really straighten his hair, and I would be very thrilled about that.
Straighten his hair. Have Flair come out for a bit.
Who would be in? Who's the AEW version of Evolution? If you were going to build an Evolution around Kenny.
Oh, Main Event Mafia. We got to go TNA. Do it.
No,
that
I mean
way.
like who would you pick from the roster? Who would be like?
Brian Cage would be Batista.
Like who's the Flair? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Who would be the Flair? Arn?
No, you signed Flair.
That's true. You just give him a fucking fat check.
And then the Randy.
Oh my god, well, Flair is pretty close to AEW. I mean, fuck.
Randy could be Sammy.
Randy could be Sammy.
Yeah, dude. Rick's son-in-law debuted tonight.
Rick's son-in-law.
Yeah.
Oh, duh. Yeah, right.
I don't know why Bob's here.
Right. What about there was no fucking appearances from Brock Anderson?
No, because his dad got his head kicked off.
Yeah.
Let's get to the main event. Eddie and Penta are in a street fight with the Bucks that you know they're going to lose because it's for the championship. They won last week, so not going to happen twice. Even though I believe it was Matt tapped out while the ref was out. But what happens there? Cue the Good Brothers to come out. I felt like this street fight was definitely more extreme, but there was still no selling on the Bucks' part. Except for the fact that they were selling their outfits, which were John Cena-like with a Jeff Hardy belt.
They looked more like, and Rob's not going to get this reference, but I know you will. When the Sunny Crew, when they do construction, like, you know, like the short, like the short blue fucking jeans or whatever.
Yeah, either.
I saw that.
Yeah, Rob saw part of it. Rob doesn't know. It was awful.
It's pretty bad. I'm watching it right now. Why are they wearing that?
The waitress is getting married. So.
Yeah, the waitress just got married, and the Hornet stinks.
Oh, good. They do look like Cena.
So, Rob, you're banished from Wednesdays. Anaconda Vice says. I know He says, I know you're just itching to bitch about something, so stop.
He didn't even watch.
Yeah, Stike says you got 2 titles not recognized. They're going to be defended, but the TNT title isn't. Yeah, what is up with Miro? This is 2 weeks in a row. I was going to get that point, Stike, but we haven't done anything with the TNT. We've built stories for everybody else. Last week we just saw a promo package from Miro. This week, nothing.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah. And Dan Lambert did the exact same thing Stike says on Impact a couple of years ago.
Huh.
So, yay.
Yeah.
Fyter Fest looks okay on paper. I think, and this goes for WWE as well, because this is my segue here. I think these titled episodes of Wednesday Night Dynamite or Tuesday Night NXT are just becoming petty. It was one thing when you couldn't do the events in front of live crowds, so you decided to do them on your Tuesday or Wednesday night. But Great American Bash last night. Now I've got 2-night Fyter Fest. Then I got Fight for the Fallen. Then I got All Out. Like,
it does water it down a little bit. I agree in that.
Yeah, you don't need to either make it a event, right. and I'd be fine if they wanted to, instead of 1 night and 2 night, Brian, if they just did, hey, there's no fucking NBA. We've been dicking our fans around on time slots for the past 6 weeks. Right. Let's fucking call Fyter Fest 1 night and go 3 hours. Okay. You want to give me a freebie 3 hours on cable? That you can call something, is
that something that would be in the cards though? We have no idea.
But if you're giving it away free anyway, Brian.
Yeah, that's a whole nother hour. That's not necessarily their decision, right?
No, but I'm sure that since they have been bending over and taking it up the ass on behalf of the NBA in their own time slot. Did you didn't watch? Do you know what came on after Dynamite tonight?
Mel Gibson's Bird on a Wire.
The Replacements with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman.
Good
You're
movie.
telling me they couldn't give an hour to a program that's rated near 1 million viewers? They couldn't give an extra hour to them instead?
What was it? Losers don't last, heroes do? Or winners don't last, heroes do? Or something like that? What was the line? No?
Yeah.
You should know that.
Miro's coming next week. Second show is much needed. Thank God it's coming. I assume, Anaconda Vice, you're talking about Rampage.
Yeah.
It's needed because you don't use your roster right. The same people are out here week in and week out, and they're just not worthy of some of the time. What I mean by that is they could take a week off. Darby and Ethan Page did not need to be on here. They could continue their story next week.
They didn't. You said they had a match. They didn't have a match tonight.
No. They had a promo. That's it.
Okay.
They didn't need it. That's what I'm saying.
No, you're right. I agree with that.
They've done plenty of talking. Have it wait, and do it next week, like you're supposed to. The Team Taz implosion, that was fine. You just showed a vignette. They weren't on last week, so you needed to remind us about them. Sure. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta pick and choose.
I hear you. That makes sense.
The Good Brothers were on 3 times tonight. The Good Brothers are not technically all elite.
No.
You have they come out during the whole FTR and Wardlow and Pinnacle trios, versus Inner Circle match. They get a promo with Carl there, and they come out during the Bucks. The Good Brothers show up 3 times tonight. I would say 60 plus all elite wrestlers showed up 0.
Yeah.
If
like, where's Jimmy Havoc?
Right. If that doesn't help you figure this out, Brian, I'm sorry, but right there, that's my most solid point.
Well, I mean, they are bigger players.
And so
though, right?
Vice is right, but if they put Rampage on TV, I don't want to see Cody wrestle twice in the same week. I want Cody, if either they split the rosters, Rampage and Dynamite, or they book it right, so that all the people that were left off constantly, that are relegated to YouTube, get their opportunity.
Right.
That's all I'm asking.
I hope so too. I hope they spread the love a little bit, if you will. Give everyone not equal airtime, but
no.
I'm with you.
And book them in the same matches you would have on Dark, Brian.
Right.
Don't book, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. to go lose to the Bucks. Book them to fight Private Party.
Actually,
because I would have no idea who's going to win. Book them to fight Hybrid or the Acclaimed. I would have no idea who's going to win. Don't book them against. I mean, that's the 2 things. I want them to use their roster better because they're suffering from that WWE stigma of just having guys sitting in catering. And I want them to be less predictable. That's it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. At Dark this past episode, they had an outside, like a guy that's not signed or anything. They had him beat what's his fucking name? Ryan Nemeth. He had him beat him with a roll up. They had Wheeler Yuta, he's an indie guy, but they had him beat one of their AEW regulars, which I thought was pretty interesting.
What? I just told you the Good Brothers appear 3 times tonight. Why would you book a guy that's not signed over a guy that's signed?
Because you were just saying about predictability and crying about how you can pick every match and who's going to win, who's going to lose. There's an example of how you can't.
Okay, Brian. On that portion of the argument, you win. On the underlying problem that I keep pointing out, you don't win.
I'm not arguing.
They continue to take their airtime.
They need Rampage.
They continue to take their platform to push guys that don't benefit them. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. I want you to hear me clearly. I'm not shitting on Dynamite, which I said earlier in the show has gotten so much better recently. I'm not shitting on. I'll always hate the Bucks and Cody, but for the most part, we got 2 Dynamites in a row that I enjoyed, that I thought did a lot of story. I can be petty and go, well, there wasn't anything for Miro. Okay, I can be petty in little things like that. But for the most part, you did a lot of storytelling these past 2 weeks, which I've griped about in the past. The 2 things you need to fix now is better utilization of your 100-plus roster size. Just got to.
Totally.
And less predictability in your booking in terms of the outcomes of the matches. I won't tell you, I know that this one's going to be a brawl. I'll guess it because it's 75% of the time is what it's going to end that way. But we know who's going to win. And that has to stop. It has to be more like what you said that they did on Dark, but not Ryan Nemeth. It has to be somebody just huge. It has to be somebody like Ryan Nemeth debuting on Dynamite and going over Moxley or Kingston or somebody that's being pushed at the time. Orange Cassidy, they just show up and they go over. It has to be like that.
I'm all about throwing some disruption in there and fucking changing things up a little bit, and that sounds like it's right up that alley, man.
And I think you should attach rockets to the back of not just MJF,
literal rockets,
but Orange Cassidy, Scorpio Sky. He already kind of gave Darby his due, but you need these young, homegrown, like their talents there. You need to build them the way you're building MJF. MJF could be in this company for 20 years the way they're doing him right. Scorpio, I'm leaving my tag team. I want to stand on my own. 2 weeks later, he's back in a tag team.
What are they, the Men of the Year?
Yeah. Darby can't get out of his own way. He's just the same feud over and over again. Jackass 4 is going to be, the end of his 15 minutes. And Orange Cassidy.
Penny off of it, I bet.
Yeah, but Orange Cassidy, again, guy doing very well on his own, beats Jericho even. Looks like they strapped the rocket to his back. Now he's relegated in bullshit matches again. I don't get, like, Scorpio and Orange Cassidy, they gave him huge pushes. I thought the response was very good for both. And then they went back to normal.
Yeah.
MJF is the only one of those guys that's consistently pushed. Jungle Boy is the same way in the Orange Cassidy, Scorpio Sky category. Yeah. They got to make up their mind.
Behind you, he looks like he's sleeping.
Yeah, I think he wants his 15 minutes too.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, it's time to close this shit down.
Oh, it is.
We've spent the time on it. I know I overshadowed the Bucks match. It had a lot of fun to it, but if you believe for 1 second any of those false finishes, you're an idiot. You just are. It's not going to happen. Kingston and Penta, sorry, boys. I love you. You're not the ones that are going to dethrone the Bucks. They're going to have some like mega team that they haven't even touched yet, which I would love for it to be Proud and Powerful, but they've been overlooked. I think they're saving the rematch with FTR.
What about who else didn't a tag team just get released from WWE?
Lots of people just got released.
Or-
You're right. The Bollywood Boys.
Yeah,
That's who's gonna get signed and beat the Bucks. Clearly.
That's it.
I
For
think
when
they're-
AEW signs their what is Bollywood? Is that
Oh,
India?
Everrise is also out there.
Everrise. That's who I was thinking of. Yes.
Everrise could take those titles too.
Yes.
Yeah. Sign everybody. Bloat your roster. Fill catering and watch wrestling fans ignore the signs that AEW is turning into WWE.
Oh my God. Turning into WWE? No, it's probably turning into WCW fucking like 1999.
I want it to turn into TNA. It felt very much like it when Daly Slace at the two tunnels, like when TNA was back at Universal.
Yeah.
And they didn't travel. You remember?
Yeah.
That's how they first lured Kurt Angle, and they said that they were going to help him try and fix his marriage.
And
I don't know.
They kind of did.
Yeah, they ended it and let him marry the widow. Anyway, that's just a weird shit. Tune in next time. We'll be here. Don't forget Money in the Bank. We got Bob and Rob will be in the studio on a show together. That should be some good
Scary.
headbutting.
I
And
thought
we're
he was
covering
doing the docking symbol, the international docking symbol. But
and apparently I'm the host of Monday with the Marks now, so look forward to that. It should be better now that I know ahead of time, and not 5 minutes before showtime ahead of time. So if Rob's even sticking with that, who knows what he'll do next week. But until then, check us out on patreon.com/MOWP. Subscribe. We got some good content coming up on there soon. And we've already got some existing content from the past that's worth checking out. So you don't want to miss out on that. And then we'll be back next Wednesday. We'll be back on Monday before then. Brian does another show called the All Elite Hour that comes out sometime in between then.
whenever.
I don't know. It's his fourth show, so hopefully this one doesn't get canceled.
Fourth show? No, technically this is 2.
Taken Down,
That was not mine. That was Rob's vehicle.
Indy McIndy Face,
That was a test run. That was a test.
Metal Dance Power Hour.
That never happened, bro. That was just one that was, what do you call it? Not workshopped.
The
Workshopping it.
MOWP Dojo.
That was not a show. That was just a fucking stupid thing.
Yeah.
Quit your hate. Quit hating.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, I'll stop hating. But until then, tune in next time. Same smart time, same smart channel.
I spoke over your outro.
Wherever to do that.
Rob's nuts are hanging out. Did you tell him that?
Oh, his nuts are just hanging out on camera. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Rob, cover your fucking nuts, man. What the fuck?
That's a cool Easter egg.
We're on YouTube. You can't have your nuts fucking hanging out, man.
And is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh,
Adam,
shit.
no, Adam, I didn't mean for you to cover his nuts with your hand.
Facebook
No.
Live. Download
I
Spotify
forgot to talk about Great American Bash.
Or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there,
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead and
that's
give
right.
us an honest and fair
Sorry,
review and
Stike.
rating.
We'll catch it on the flip side.
Yeah.
Would like to see us
On the
grow.
flippity
I gotta
flop.
get Rob's nuts put away.
Yeah. Wait, why are my nuts out now? What's happening? Oh, I'm gonna be a satellite.
Dude, you're talking over the closing bed.
Yeah.
We're gonna get fined.
Ravepro. Yeah. It's a mouthful.
It's an angry elf. It's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.